What is up? It's Friday with Adrien, so I'm here. I got a haircut. I don't have to wear a hat. My amazing girl cut it for me. She's great. She cuts hair great. I look great. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into the topic, which is mental illnesses. I personally can't speak on a broad range of them. I have only had real extensive experience with depression and anxiety. And they're things that I've dealt with since I was young, actually. I've gone to counseling or a therapist since, I think, maybe like before middle school, for depression. And back then my therapist I couldn't connect to him, so I just didn't. I told him what I needed to tell him to get off my back, and that was basically what it was. And I think I actually managed to do that through all of high school. I'm really good at knowing what I'm supposed to say, I think. It was really bad for me to do, actually, and it was at its peak in after high school, because I've grown up in the same place. My entire life I've lived in the same house, so everyone I've known has been pretty much within or not everyone I've known. I've obviously met other people, but the people I mostly associated myself with in school lived within like a 3 to 4 mile radius of my high school. It was a really small community, and even then I wasn't really okay with meeting new people. I didn't like talking to people. I didn't like being introduced to people. But as soon as I went to college, it was people from all over, like the South Bay of San Diego, people coming from TJ or whatever they're doing. So there were so many people that I was meeting, and they're from everywhere, and I just felt so uncomfortable meeting people, talking to people, being seen by people. It just became unbearable, honestly, and I started to slowly drop out of classes. I think I started with like history, moved on to sociology, and eventually I only had one class, and it was only because I had a friend from high school in that class, and I had still missed so many classes that I couldn't keep up with the material. So I ended up just like skipping the last month and failing the final because I didn't take it, and failing the class. I tried again the second semester, and the exact same thing happened, except for I didn't have a friend in my class, so I just straight up dropped the classes and stopped going to school. And my anxiety was so bad for my first year and a half out of high school were the worst. Because the third semester I told my parents I was going to school, but I wasn't, and they still don't know to this day, so I really hope they don't see this. But I just couldn't be seen, and then the anxiety of having to be in school but I wasn't in school made it so much worse, because I was supposed to have all these credits that I'd finished, but I didn't. But I couldn't explain to my parents it was because I couldn't go to school because I just freaked out so bad. I didn't know how to go about it, and that time I think was like the darkest point of my life, and that is really where I had come to terms with being transgender, actually, because I was just so forced to face myself, because I was immersing myself in nothing but myself, honestly, and it was really bad for me. I guess something good came out of it, but it was really bad for me. I wish I never went through that point in my life. I wish I had figured out I was transgender some other way, because I wish I had talked about the things I was feeling. I wish I had talked about all the problems I was experiencing, all the anxiety, and it's really important that you do talk to someone about it. Anyone, a friend, anything, because you can't be your own counselor. It really is just, it's so hard, especially when you're someone who knows what to tell yourself to make yourself think you're okay. So through starting my transition, though, my depression and anxiety has definitely greatly lessened, because a lot of it stemmed from me not being able to be myself, not being able to accept myself, even, because I just, I understood that I was transgender, I just hadn't accepted it, and that was a big thing, which caused even more anxiety upon myself. So, starting my transition and everything relieved a lot of that, but it definitely didn't make it disappear. And I think that's a really important thing to say, is that I feel like, some of my friends and some of my family members, they think that my problems, like my depression and my anxiety, should go away now because I've started testosterone, because I'm on my, because I'm like I pass as male places. I feel like some of my friends feel like I should be okay now because of that, and that's a lot of pressure on me. And I have to remind myself that this, just because I've started to become who I am and I'm starting to feel more comfortable, doesn't mean that my problems are going to disappear, because it was more than that. It's something that's been ingrained into my own being, into my mind. It's not something that's just going to disappear because I've started on the right path. And I think that's something I wish someone else could have told me, maybe. So I think it's important for me to say to you, just because you have started your transition, if your depression doesn't go away, if your anxiety doesn't go away, if whatever you have doesn't just disappear because you've started to do good things for yourself, don't think it means that you're not doing what's right for yourself, because you are. It's just, it's deeper than that, it's more than that. It's something that's been affecting you for so long that you can't just make it disappear in a night, in a day, in a haircut, in a couple of shots. It doesn't make you any less of anything just because you deal with it. It doesn't make you any less valid. It doesn't make your identity any less valid. Whatever. So yeah, now that I do actually go see my gender therapist, I'm a lot more honest. I talk about my real feelings more, because I realize that's something I have to do, because I've grown up a lot and I've realized that I need to, help myself. And opening up about myself has done a lot. It's done a lot for my confidence. It's done a lot for my problems. Of course, it hasn't fixed it, but it's something you deal with every day, and it gets better, and it gets worse, and it gets better, and that's just the way it is. I think it's just really important to remember that, like, you're not alone, and so many people are dealing with these problems, and also that it's always okay to have these problems. It's not your fault or anything, because I feel like sometimes people with mental illnesses do blame themselves for their own problems, and it's not your fault. It's something you have to deal with, and it'll be tough, but you'll be stronger for it. Because I know that I'm stronger for all of the things that I've put myself through and I've been through, and I know that the man I'm going to become is going to be better than who I ever was before. And anyone can do that. I think I kind of got off topic, but not really at the same time. But yeah, so I'll see you later.